I'm William K. Reilly. I have had a career in conservation, and when I think back on how I came to be interested in the environment, I think it started with my fascination for land. I grew up in central Illinois, and one of the excitements when I was little was to go to a farm about 16 miles east of Decatur and to climb up on big piles of corn cobs with my sister and slide down them, look out on the fields, and sometimes we would see foxes playing among the cornfields. And I really grew to love land and to see it as really a primary interest. And I kept that through law school, where I wrote my law school thesis on land reform in Chile. I spent a year in France and wrote a book about land reform in France. And I had another experience, though, along with my interest in land. First time I ever saw Lake Michigan, I can remember, and I do remember, I was about 4.5. I just had never seen a body of water you could not see to the other side of. And it really was very exciting. I then, of course, saw the ocean when we visited my grandparents in Fall River, Massachusetts, and we went to Newport, Rhode Island, and to Cape Cod. And so I suddenly became a land and water guy. And I've had a lot of activity that has been focused on water. When I was in government, we obtained something like $1 billion to clean up water in the Great Lakes. That time we were particularly concerned about Lake Erie, which was losing its fish and really decimated by algae blooms, phosphates and nitrates flowing in. And we dealt with a lot of that and brought the lake back. We also worked very hard to get a better situation for public health and sanitation in communities called colonias along the Texas-Mexican border, which had some of the highest gastrointestinal illness in the country, largely because these communities simply had no sanitation at all. And we got $100 million for that. It felt very good, and I look back at the interest that I had in land and in water. I had a business for a while that invested in water in developing countries, drip irrigation in India, water purification and storage in Mexico and Russia. And I think the major preoccupations of the environmental movement have been mine: land, water, and public health. And we really, I think, began to put some of these things together over the past 35, 40 years, a period of great success in environmental protection. And I've often thought, when I hear environmentalists lament all of the challenges that we face, and certainly they are very large, very formidable now, do remember how much success we achieved, how much better the air and the water is, how many more rivers have fish in them now than had that 35, 40 years ago. You can actually can't see the air in Los Angeles most of the time anymore. We've done a lot of good things as a country, and those of us concerned about the environment, I think, have every reason to feel very good about the efforts that have been underway, and that should give us energy to undertake these serious problems in the future.